No, I don't know
No.
any children. Wait, Andy, you're a child.
Yes,
You're
I
like
am.
Mutant
I'm
Turtles.
a wee little boy.
I think
I
they
love Ninja Turtles.
still like every generation they do a new Ninja Turtles like TV series. It's like Transformers. There's always a new thing. It's almost like Power
Transform.
Rangers, right?
Yeah.
There's always more.
It's timeless.
Look, Sentai is never going to stop. There's always going to be more Power Rangers material.
That's because it makes a lot of money.
Yeah. Same with Kamen Rider. But we don't get Kamen Rider in the West, which is sad.
Instead, we get podcasts called Reflex Save.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Damn
They
straight.
do.
This?
This, yeah, basically this.
No, but like, don't play the
prefer Power
pronoun
Rangers.
game. What is
God.
Reflex Save doing tonight?
They are about to sit down with a bunch of friends and play some D&D.
You're the embodiment.
Yeah,
Listen to that.
so, the embodiment of D&D Reflex Save.
It's all you.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure. I don't know if I could do that. But do you guys remember what happened last week? I guess would be the biggest. All right, that's pretty
got
normal
attacked.
reaction.
All I know is that we hit level 3.
Nice. Yeah.
No, that was the week before.
but-
Shit!
We made our way to Cairdenville.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
We gave back a lot of stolen things, and Care Koenig is quite the fans of us now.
Not all the stolen things, though.
Yeah, you did hold back on a couple things that were clearly
I got
stolen
him
from
back
the
his
town.
pearls.
Yeah, that's fine.
A lie by omission is still a lie.
He didn't call me out on it.
No, he didn't know that you had them. You left Care Koenig and making your way back to Caer Dineval. On the way to Goodmead, you decide to stop in since,
Since why the hell not?
well, yeah, why the hell not? And I believe Carnelian and, well, a couple of you had sort of things you wanted to check out, right? Horatio was getting a bit more interested in maybe something of a more personally religious nature, I guess would be the...
Looking
He's
for
gone.
libraries and bookstores.
Exactly.
God doesn't smite him.
Yeah.
And you thought that maybe a place that used to have a burnt down library might have some surviving books that could be useful. Or at least someone that could tell you anything. So once you arrived to the care and you made your way inside, while you were trying to find the speaker, you ran into the elderly scribe on the way out of the office. And upon seeing Cornelian in particular, decided to pull you aside. As he had some information for you. But we had to find out what that was this week. So...
Is that like a reverse cliffhanger?
Yes. I'm coming back into the cliffhanger.
You're pulling me up off the cliff?
It's your savior.
It's good to see you. I didn't expect to see you so soon. He's sort of pulled you off to the side while in this sort of waiting room in front of the office.
Well, the delivery to Care Koenig was completed, so we have to head back to Goodmead first before we can do anything.
Ah, yes. Well, it looks like you've come at a fortunate time. I was able to go through some of the notes that the speaker had after his cleanup, and I found a few things that you might find interesting. You were asking about strange cases of missing people across the 10 towns. Is that right?
Yes.
I have some things that might be interested to you. Individually, they don't seem anything other than just a strange occurrence, but once you start taking them all together, maybe they could be something worth looking into. I have concerning stories here about 4 individuals. The first is an older man named Jask Tibbet.
Excuse me?
Jask Tibbet. Jasktibbot.
I don't know why you spelt that. It's not like we're writing it down.
Yeah, I don't know why you looked at me funny, but listen, he's an old man from Duggan's Hole.
No.
He's well, I guess the best you could say he's retired, if anyone can be called that here in the 10 towns. He doesn't do any official work, although he often goes out into the woods to get drunk and do some light fur trapping. He came back not too long ago, maybe within the last week, telling some strange story about an experience in the woods, something about lights in the sky. It's very odd. I know that you're looking for missing people, but the occurrence was quite strange. He mentioned something about seeing figures in the trees, in the woods, that disappeared before he could get to them. Most people are taking his rantings as that of a drunk, and the report only came up to us as just strange tidings from the town in general. I don't know if you know this, but Duggan's Hole is not really one to care too much about the wider 10 Towns' problems. They are isolated, strange. If you have to go there, I'd certainly be careful if I were you.
I've heard stories.
Oh, I had absolutely no intention of going there unless I had to.
Sveta, didn't you say that you're not welcome at Duggan's Hall?
No, they are a bunch of drunks, and it's not a very welcoming place. I'd rather we didn't go. I don't even believe this man's story.
I'd say slack-jawed yokels is probably the more accurate description. They are unfriendly to outsiders, to say the least.
Yeah, they might trap you, Carnelian.
I said I don't think they would take kindly to a kobold, no.
It's not ideal.
Anyway.
Sounds like somewhere we'd want to visit then.
Perhaps this will also help. Helga Glint. It's a report that came in from Targus. Missing. The barmaiden of Free Flag Sailing Tavern. Not much, except that she was late cleaning one night and, in all intents and purposes, left the door unlocked, which is unusual for her. The owner came back in the next day, and she was nowhere to be found. Didn't show up for work later, and hasn't been seen since. I'm sorry that's not much to go on, but it's a disappearance after all.
What was the name of that tavern? The Three...
It would be the Three Flags Sailing.
Three Flags Sailing.
And which town is that?
Targus. It's a very major town, so the current thought is maybe that she was robbed or perhaps abducted.
And what was her name again?
Helga Glint.
How far is this Targus from here?
It'd be on the river, wouldn't it, if it was a sailing town?
Well, remember, there's a lake. There's two rivers that run almost parallel. There's one to the north, and obviously from where we are on this lake here, the Redwaters. But there's also the other river that leads into Duladon.
Good thing we have this handy map.
Yes, there.
Yes, Sveta, thank you.
Your DM did provide you with a map of some description, I believe.
He did indeed.
Where is it? I don't have my glasses.
Alright, there's Duggan's Hole.
Targus.
Red Waters.
Where?
Targos.
Got a good suitcase from there once. Nothing.
I was like, that sounds familiar for some reason.
We don't want to go to Duggan's Hole, and Targus is in the opposite direction of East Haven.
Why are you going to East Haven?
I wouldn't mind checking out East Haven.
It's a big city.
Because
Exactly.
that's where the Durga were.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
Is that also the
Durga?
ferry?
Durga, what are you talking about?
None of your
You know, like
business.
deep dwarves.
Yes, I know what they are, but
Oh, sorry,
Durga and the 10 Towns?
someone asked about... Yeah, while we were up in,
Caer
Konig, we stumbled across a holdout that had some Durga.
Oh,
They'd apparently been stealing from Caer Konig.
that is an
Well, not apparently. They had been stealing from Caer Konig.
ill omen. I haven't heard reports from Durga here in the 10 Towns in quite some time.
Don't you normally get dwarves in there?
We got dwarves well enough. Durga, not so much. Anyway,
Lysando. What's your name? I'm sorry, I've forgotten.
do you mean Lanthus?
Lanthus.
I'm insulted that you would forget my name.
Sorry, Lanthus.
It's only been a few days.
What can you tell us about the Shardolin?
Shardolin?
Have you heard of that?
No, I can't say that I have. I'm sorry.
Are you some sort of information gatherer? Is there anything you can find out?
I am a scribe. Most of the things that come into this town, I get to see one way or another. That's why your friend here, I thought I might be able to help. Tales of missing people from various towns sometimes get circulated through, and Well, I just gathered some of that information for him.
If you do hear anything, please let us know.
Sure. How can I reach you? Where will you be?
Magic.
We're going
Or
to
a pigeon.
Goodmead.
To Goodmead. Then I should leave it with Olivessa? Brit?
No, just Olivessa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you find any, if you get any information, please feel free to forward it on to Olivessa. We may not make it back to Goodmead immediately, but I'm sure we will by the time we get back.
I'll keep that in mind.
Thank you.
Did you want to hear the rest?
Yes.
Vander Krisk. This report came in from Tourmaline. Vander is a fisherman there. He's missing. His boat was found out on Mare Duldon, the lake, which he normally frequents for his craft. It would be strange for it to be abandoned. Of course, anything could have happened. He could have fallen from his boat into the icy waters. He could have let it adrift and decided to leave. But maybe it's something. Finally, there is a report from a merchant caravan. Harren Salk. He's part of a caravan that sometimes makes its way across the spine of the world on the Ten Trail. Of course, such merchants were much more frequent before this everlasting winter. Caravans must be well stocked and defended to get through now. On his way, he went missing from the caravan for 7 days. They had to continue on without him down the trail, and he reappeared strangely one night. Although not many have been able to get him to speak, seems to blabber on about something. He currently resides in East Haven.
Well, Lanthus, that's quite a list of things that you've given us there.
They may be
recently. Sorry, are these all recently acquired things that you've heard, Scribe?
Within the last couple of weeks, yes, that would be the reports. They may not be related. They may not be related to what you are looking for. But they're the leads I was able to come up with in the last couple of days, going through the paperwork.
Thank you, Lanthus.
Thank you, Scribe, for this information. I'm sure it'll be of some assistance to myself and my companions.
You're welcome. If there's anything else I can do, please let me know. You're welcome, of course, to see the speaker, but he is quite busy at the moment. Of course, you are the heroes, after all, that saved us. I'm sure he'll give you an audience.
Well, there is one thing, actually, Lanthus.
Oh?
I'm seeking knowledge. Books. I understand that your library burnt down tragically, but I was curious to see if any books perhaps had survived, and perhaps if you had any for sale. Was there a bookstore at all in town as well?
I'm not sure if you'll be so lucky. Most of the books here are not collected in some sort of central library since it burnt down here in the care. Individuals throughout town may have different books that keep them through the nights and for their professions, but there's not a single collection, you see.
Well, I think these books may not get people through the night, but I'm seeking religious texts, you see.
I mean, you could potentially canvass some of the town to see what texts people keep. I would say, though, that you may have a better chance at one of the larger towns. They more often hold libraries where we have limited resources.
Would you happen to know which town has the largest library?
Not the largest, but your best bet would either be East Haven, Bryn Shander, or Targos. They are the largest towns in the 10 towns and the most well-fortified, constructed, and resourced. If there's any information, it'll be there.
Thank you, Lanthus.
You are welcome. Is there anything else I can do for you? I do have some work to get to, you see.
What did you do with the bodies from the attacks?
To be honest, it's only been a couple of days. Most of them are still in the basement. We have not found time to bury them.
There might still be some in the west tower. You haven't touched those at all?
All the towers have been cleared out above level, you see. We've tried to at least get the place cleaned up since you left. Any other bodies that were found outside have been put in the basement just purely for storage, you see, under the care. Because it is cold there. Things do not rot and decay so quickly.
Excuse me, I need to leave. And then I walk out.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. Do you mind if I have a look at the bodies?
He gives you a very strange look. You are the heroes, I believe. The speaker said the care was yours, as yours guests. I don't see a problem.
Great. I'm just going to head towards the bodies. And to speed it up for you, I'm going to just take one outside the town and bury it next to a tree.
All right, so we'll just say that you're in the process of getting under the care, and so that just so you know, there's a couple of bodies of townsfolk. Obviously, they're being maybe prepared. They're sort of being kept nicely to hopefully maybe for their loved ones to bury later. Although no one really knows much about the cultists, so they've just been kept,
Probably just take one of the cultist bodies.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
You get a lot of strange looks. I imagine that you can't particularly be too stealthy about this.
It's fine.
But no one necessarily stops you.
Cool.
What a strange cat. Is there anything else I can help you with?
It's just something she does. There is one more thing before we go.
Yes, my
And I
friend.
lean, right into his ear and sort of just gently put my hand on his arm. I'll whisper in his ear, I cast False Life. I have 7 temporary hit points.
Young man, those temporary hit points will get you in trouble. Keep that away from me.
7 extra points.
He looks confused. But if there's nothing more, he'll give you a nod. He's got a stack of papers on him and walks out. What would you guys like to do?
Well, my vote is East Haven. I think it's got information for you, Horatio.
Mm-hmm.
We can investigate the Duragar and maybe the ferry. And it's not Duggan's Hole.
It does have that going for it, yes. Did
What do
we
you guys
have Did we still have unfinished business in Goodmead? Do we have to return to Olivessa to report of our success?
We should, yes, because we don't actually have any money, but we have promises from the speakers.
You also don't own the travelling equipment that you have, so the dogs
don't
and
own
the sled.
the dogs.
Well, yes, I would like to, by the sound of it, I think East Haven might be a good place to start, once we, of course, get back to Goodmead. Get some money. Yes. Cornelia, what do you think?
I wanted to go to East Haven already.
Directly?
No, after we returned to Goodmead and announced that the task was completed.
Hmm.
And returned the things that they've lent to us, so as to not,
Or
get
ask
on their
for an
bad side.
extension on the loan. Or a permanent. Make it permanent.
I somehow get the feeling they're not going to be willing to part with a bunch of dogs on a permanent basis. But maybe we can ask to make another delivery for them.
Jeez.
What do you think, Wood? Do you think that's
Yeah, that's
Course of
fine.
action.
That sounds good to me as well.
okay?
Be good to see Olivessa again. And Shanda.
Shanda.
Shanda!
So what you guys do know is, at this point, it's pretty equidistant, really, to go either to East Haven or Goodmead. If you continue heading south from here, there will be a crossroads that you can then choose to go. It'll take you the better part. So if you leave now, even with good weather, you think that you have a couple choices. You either leave now and camp out, like you did the first time, somewhere along the trail,
That went well.
and then make your way into Goodmead early the next morning. You could make the travel now and push on into the night, travel at night, and get to Goodmead late. Or you could rest here and then push into Goodmead the next day and get there by the afternoon. You could do the same things for East Haven as well. It's about the same distance for you guys.
I think personally, perhaps keeping the travel to all within a single day might be a safer course of action.
I was thinking the same thing.
It's perpetual dawn versus perpetual dusk. We're just as likely to get attacked, no matter which hour we do the travel in.
But Zimmer, you forget, there's also perpetual night.
I do think if we have to rest, that doing it in the care is preferable to camping.
Yeah, remember as well, there is the possibility of the weather turning on you or anything along the way. And that could happen at any time, though.
Or there's a chance of coming across another Samuel.
Is there
his little brother.
Yes.
Are there
Stephen.
temperature there is still technically night and day, right?
Yeah, so there is a day-night cycle. We talk about perpetual dawn and dusk a lot, but there is basically a day and a night. Where the day the sun barely gets through and casts sort of ill light, and then there is a deep night that happens. So, yeah, there is a distinct day and night.
Well, right. At least one of us can't see for shit during the night, so we should probably do it during the day.
I heard that.
My ears work.
God, is that you?
I wasn't trying to conceal it from you.
Oh, it's you, Carnelian. Oh.
You see, I can't see anything because I'm human. It's the daytime.
You have to understand, I have to bend down to be able to see you.
The noise doesn't reach high enough. Get down.
So this is the town where we had the chowder, right? This is Chowder City.
Yeah.
This is the fresh apple chowder
Chowder
town.
Cat chowder.
Cat chowder. Well, and are there any sort of stores or anything that sells anything in this place? Anywhere? Things?
Hello?
Any stuff with the things?
Last time you were here a couple of days ago, you had to go around and ask people if they had any local herbs to restock your healer's kit. Remember?
Yeah.
It was pretty slim pickings. Yeah.
So there's the tavern, the uphill climb, which is the other thing that's predominantly open here, apart from the care. Other things in the town, there's not a lot of notable landmarks. Remember, this is about a medium-sized town. You could take a look and ask around if you want.
Maybe we should push on through the town.
Do you think leave now? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
isn't
it's still more treacherous to travel at night. So do you think it'd be worth arriving past dusk?
It would be well past dusk at this point if you left, yeah.
We could sleep now and make it before sunset, or if we travel now, we'd have to...
It would be an element of travelling in the night. If we left now, yeah.
Or staying out in the night in the wilderness, if you're resting out there. Which, there's always a chance you may be forced to, if the weather turns bad, or if something delays you.
Ideally, we would not sleep out.
Yeah.
Particularly while we have the cur open to us.
Yeah, there's bandits out there.
Well,
I'd be more worried about wolves.
I'm happy to find a room and review my readings.
The speaker did offer you the care, and I know you've got a Pilates classroom somewhere along here.
That's true. The space, studio.
There's a studio.
We have been offered bed and board here.
Yeah. What say you, Woden? What are you thinking?
Yeah, all right. Let's do it.
Okay.
Very well.
Is there anything... So, apart from Sveta burying a body in the trees, did you want to go...
La.
Is there anything you'd like to do, especially with this, or...
Just bury the body.
Just bury the
Do
body?
nothing.
Horatio, is there something you want to do?
He's not watching, it's fine.
Well, as a note, I will say that he does feel a little bit uncomfortable. Like, he can feel something, and it's a bit makes him uncomfortable, but he's trying not to pay attention to it.
Okay. In that case, unless there's anything else you want to do in the town, you can stay the night.
I could really use some Pilates, Woden. That was fantastic last time we were here. A nice little distraction.
I'm actually quite sleepy. I might do an early morning sesh if you're up early enough.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
I mean, we are going to have to get up with the perpetual dawn.
That's fine.
I'm all for it. And Sveta can join us too. Once she's done definitely not doing what I think she's doing.
I'm a desecrator.
I'm a desecrator. What can I say?
Desecrator is my job.
That is a sick nickname, though. By the way, Sveta.
The Desecrator.
Sounds like a wrestling. The Desecrator.
Yeah. Or a monster truck. The Desecrator is doing it in the air.
So, in that particular case, Sveta, you return. You guys don't have to post guard or anything. You can get a meal at the common area, and if there's,
Is it chowder?
it's always chowder.
Nice.
It is care chowder after
They
all.
live on a river with fish in it. Like
Yeah.
they're gonna eat what they can eat, and right now, that's fish.
It's fish
Thanks.
chowder. It's baked fish a la mode.
Fishatui?
I mean, carnelian. You could just give carnelian a fish, and he'll eat that.
Cheech? Carnelian a fish?
It's making the same joke.
I was inspired last time. I had to do it again.
Okay. So, you guys get up early. There's
Extra early.
There's an extra early Pilates class open for anyone who wants it.
I get up before Woden because I'm really keen.
Super keen.
Hey, Woden, you ready? I'm ready for my session. Look, I put my slinglet.
My
My singlet on.
slinglet.
I can't even speak.
So you guys are out early after the Pilates class and back on with the dogs. You make your way.
Where are we going?
Sveta, may I join you in the front again?
Yes, of
Will you
course.
let me relinquish my seat?
It's so cold there in the other place.
Yeah, I don't want to sit back in cabin. Coach.
I want to ride with the pilots. Let's see.
Woden's going to make it particularly awkward for you guys after your disagreement. I'm going to be like, oh, I thought you guys were going to have a fight. You guys okay up there?
You're making
guys
it
friends
weird.
again?
It's fine.
I feel
Are
like
you sure?
I think we've resolved
Horatio?
our conflict. Yes.
Are you going to attack anyone else?
No.
Do I have to keep an eye on you?
I cast Raven Fieldman on Woden.
No!
Could you make it worse?
I have a new spell.
Ooh.
It does do damage, though, so
I
it's
thought it
not
would
fair.
like, counteract Raven people. Does
Oh, no.
Like a lesser restoration, maybe.
that work?
No.
Okay, so
I don't think it does, but the DM might rule it does, considering.
you guys set off down south from Caer Dineval. Following the road is relatively easy. You recognise this part. It looks clear. You don't see any sort of storms rolling in at this stage. So you guys have been travelling for a couple of hours. And I'd like Sveta and Horatio to make me a perception check. Since you guys are up on the driving.
After you, my lady.
11.
17.
17. In the distance, as you're driving, Sveta, and I guess you've got enough concentration on the road, but you can see out to the side, and both of you see this, the figure that you know what this is at this point. It's where Sveta buried Samuel. Just off past a couple of trees, you can see where he would be. But Sveta, what catches your attention because you were most close is that he's not in the same position that he was when you left him.
I don't think I would. Just to clarify, I don't think I'd know that because I don't think I actually saw you.
No, yeah,
do
you saw him, but you can see him in the distance with your check, but you don't know that it's in the wrong position.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
I'll slay the dogs.
Okay.
And just
But
like,
isn't that Samuel individual?
yes. It's not how I left him. I just need to check on it if that's alright.
Can I trust you?
I don't need to rebury it if that's what you mean. But can I trust you if you want to come? You won't do anything to it.
You have my word. I won't do anything.
Okay. We'll get out of the cart. I don't think I'll say anything to the others. I'll be back.
What about Woden and Cornelian? The cart's just come to a slow and a stop.
Woden wasn't really listening to the conversation, but he'll get off. Oh, you need to pee as well, Sveta. I'll go. I'll go over this side of the road.
Yes,
Cornelian's gonna like
please.
poke his head out because he can't like see out of the back of the car. Very just like where, like turn his head around. Like,
What's going on?
oh,
Goes-
here.
Woden goes to the very closest tree. Like, doesn't even... Just without thinking, he's just one hand on the tree.
Why are we stopping here?
It's a pit stop. Can't you see, Walden? I just need to go a bit further in for privacy.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I'm taking
and I'm
Horatio
taking
with me.
Horatio.
Don't look, Cornelian.
I go towards the dead body. I'm not even going to wait for Cornelia's reaction. Sorry, Simon.
Horatio, you following?
Yeah.
You approach. As you approach, you can see the body reclined a little, like mostly as you had left it, although unlike before where it was just sort of like being almost embraced by the tree, you can see it's slumped over. Looking at it, the roots of the tree, even within the last couple of days, seem to have started growing into the bottom of the body, into the legs and lower torso. And he's slumped over with an outstretched arm that points deeper into the woods.
Pretty sure you didn't do this, Sveta. Obviously, I didn't see you bury him, but I don't think you would have done something like this.
No, that's barbaric. That's disgusting. No. I don't know if that means the magic's working or not.
Should he be pointing?
I don't know. No, I'm not sure. Maybe... I mean, it'd be stupid not to follow where he's pointing, right?
I can't agree with that, being a man of logic and reason.
Well, my god wouldn't lie if that's his doing. He must want me to go that way.
Maybe it is.
Unfortunately, I don't think there's any books that I can read, but...
Point taken. Well, you're not going alone. Shall we get Walden and Cornelian?
Might be a good idea, yes.
I will go back. I'll go back and fetch them.
Mm-hmm. So you do. Is there anything else you want to do before they get here?
I'll look away just in case Warden didn't pull up his pants.
Okay.
I'll do my best Samuel as I'm walking back towards the thing.
Yes.
What have we here?
Like a crossword pull.
Woden spins around really quickly and you get pee flicked on your shoes.
Oh, it was just
Just
me.
stop in midstream with Woden.
Just a joke, bro.
It's just a prank!
It was just
prank, bro.
just a joke, bro.
Oh. No zombie bandits. Okay.
Sveta and I are going to inspect the lead. Would you join us? I think it would be safest if we stuck in a group.
Yeah, sure. So like, we're just going to go straight into the woods.
Yes. But I think
Why?
going to... Well, she's going to learn something about her god. And
okay.
I have books. She has dead bodies that point into the woods. So I think
There's a dead body pointing to the woods, and we're
Indeed.
just going to go where the dead body's pointing?
I'll come and have a look. I think you'll see... Perhaps it's not as sinister as you make it out to sound.
Sounds pretty fucking sinister.
Yeah, I agree with Woden on this one. That sounds pretty sinister.
But I'll join you.
Is it pointing with its left or its right hand?
Left hand
Very sinister.
in my mind.
He's a south.
Is the other hand doing like a little... what do you call that gesture?
Okay.
An okay? Yeah.
Maybe it's just beckoning.
Which Dark Souls emote is it doing?
I couldn't tell you.
The bonfire one. I don't know.
As we walk by, can I just check quickly as well? Does Samuel have a cult amulet on?
You want to do a quick perception check?
Sure.
Perceive his neck.
That was a hefty dice.
It's heavy.
I think you broke our table.
Sorry about it.
No, he's beaten some sense into his tray.
14.
14.
Nice.
That's
There you go.
Wow.
That's a real roll.
That's double digits.
He's
It's
finally
like-
asserting dominance.
Maybe this is finally my lucky dice.
Nah,
Stop, you jinxed it.
Don't.
God, no, you've said it.
Wait until combat, because this is like a skill check that might not mean anything.
Can I roll to hit Warden?
Maybe later.
Okay.
I do, sorry. I do have I also like to do a genuine roll on him. Can I just do like a quick Arcana check? See
Yeah.
if there's any sort of...
Okay.
Oh, actually, no, religion check.
Religion
right?
would
Yeah.
be more appropriate. So with that, you do a quick search. I mean, obviously, you'd already looked over these bodies when you'd first first fought them at the end of the battle, and there's been some decomposition. Obviously, as I said, the roots are growing into him, which makes it hard to look properly. But from what you can see, you don't find any of those kind of things that would look like a culty necklace.
Okay.
18 on religion.
18. Certainly, I mean, if this was a deity, like a ritual for a deity, there's nothing to say that they would not be trying to leave signs for Sveta to follow. It could be coincidence. The body could have just moved from being like a, by scavengers, although you would expect it to be a bit more in pieces, I guess.
So does it seem like I get the impression that perhaps her god may have done this deliberately?
Gods of natural order tend to work through their subjects a bit more subtly. Obviously, divine gods are very direct. They talk to or they grant boons to their clerics. For those that follow more nature-related gods, the signs can be subtle. It's almost like divination, I guess, reading tea leaves or like the voices on the wind. So there's nothing to say that this isn't a sign, but it also could be anything at the same time. You'd have to be somewhat skilled of knowing what you're looking for to really be able to piece it together. So, you guys start heading off into the woods.
Yeah.
You're walking, travelling along.
Keeping eyes open.
Perceiving.
Eyes peeled. Ooh. The woods, there's a slow wind that's built up through the course of the day. You had absolute stillness when you left this morning. It's nothing necessarily to be concerned about. You don't see any signs of anything quickly moving through the trees, but there's definitely a gentle breeze that is kind of rustling the dead branches nicely. You hear the normal sounds in the distance of some sort of tundra animals. Those that make their home and are able to survive out in the winter. Maybe in the distance you might feel that you hear a howl of wolves marking their territory. Pretty normal, especially if you're familiar with being out and about in Icewind Dale at all times. You walk for 20 minutes?
I'll just say that I'm at the back as well, because I'm just following.
Mm-hmm.
Carnelian will also be at the back.
So like a classic 2x2?
Okay, so after 20 minutes, I'd like is anyone proficient with survival?
Carnelian is.
Carnelian? I think maybe Sveta, possibly?
Nope.
Yeah, hell yeah, I am.
I was about to say, how is it?
I am too.
What druid would not be proficient in survival?
Anyone proficient in survival?
I'm not proficient in nature.
Roll me a survival check.
Nature's more of like an academic skill. Survival is like the practical.
Yeah.
The nerds.
Survival's like the applied.
That would be a non-natural 20.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, I jinxed mine, so 10.
No.
10?
23.
23. Okay. So, Woden, you're just hanging out at the back. Everything seems pretty cool around here.
This crisp breeze is it's doing wonders for my skin, I think.
It's fantastic, isn't it? I don't know if there's anything unusual. It's just this beautiful breeze.
But Sveta and Carnelian, one of the things that you've noticed just in the last couple minutes is those gentle sounds of wind through the branches, those distinct, possibly animal noise. They just seem to have fallen away. And you could swear that you could still feel the breeze on your faces, but it's almost like everything's muted. You can hear the crunching of your footsteps, but it almost feels somewhat distant. Do you continue?
Yep. No hesitation.
Carnelian will hesitate, but seeing Sveta moving forwards, he's going to make sure that his weapon, that his crossbow is loaded, and that his rapier is in arm's reach.
10 minutes more. Now, everything does feel like it's been silenced. You can't even really hear your feet crunching on the snow. Even for Horatio and Woden, you can tell now something feels a little bit off. Or strange, maybe. Maybe not off, but something feels weird.
Feels oddly still and quiet here. I'm not much of a nature man, but this doesn't seem very natural.
This isn't normal.
But it's very peaceful.
How do you feel, Sveta, being in a place like this right now?
Good.
Peaceful like a graveyard, maybe.
I was a dead body that
Getting
led us
some
here.
mixed messages here from my my companions.
I don't know what to do.
How do I feel?
Again, as I said, maybe I misspoke when I said it feels off. It feels strange. Like an out-of-body experience almost. Like, something sort of almost like applying pressure to you without actually having the sensation of pressure.
Okay.
Yeah. At that moment, all of you hear, cutting through the silence, a cry? Some sort of high-pitched or like...
Does it sound like an animal?
Is that a curlew?
Roll a nature or survival check.
I would like to roll.
Does it sound like a...
nature?
I would like to
Is it like
participate.
a pained cry? Or like a...
See what your nature and survival checks come up with.
Dang it.
Carnelian has clearly never heard of whatever this is before in his life, because that was a 4.
4.
You
have no idea.
I got an 8.
21?
Oh my goodness.
All right, what I will say,
Not 21.
whatever
What
it
did you
is,
2.
sounds
things.
whatever it is sounds distressed. You don't know if it's natural, but it seems to be from, like, it doesn't sound like it's like a false like take of the wind, right, running through the trees. It feels like it's emanating from something.
I'll pull Beefcliff off my back.
Mm-hmm.
I will cast Armour of Agathis on myself, and I'll run towards it.
Okay. Woden takes off at a dead sprint towards what looks to be a small rise ahead of you. Sveta?
I'm going to chase after him. What the
Sveta
hell?
goes into a dead
we
run
go.
as well.
I'm off.
Everyone runs?
Yeah,
Throw my mace
gotta go after him.
and my shield.
Everyone runs to what you can see. Like, it's very obvious the direction of where
Carnelian
this is
will have
coming
his
from.
Crossbow out specifically.
Crossbow out.
I got nothing out.
Got nothing but your paws. It's very obvious the direction that this is coming from. And sure enough, just as you're running to the edge of what looks to be a slight rise with a couple of trees, you find yourself looking down over into a slight clearing covered in snow. And you can see a shape lying on its side in the middle. It looks to be some sort of white fur, but it's hard to see from this far. You'd have to get closer. The sounds that you're hearing seems to be coming from where it is.
Approximately how far are we? Oh, sorry. I think Woden's still in front.
Yeah, I'll on realizing that it's not a human that's in distress, I'll or not something that's under attack, as soon as I hit the edge of the clearing, I'll kind of drop down to one knee and see if I can like see anything around. Like,
Make a perception
this is
check.
feeling like a trap to me. Perception. Oh, that's a 19 on the die.
Damn.
So 21 again.
Rolling good where it counts.
What you can see, like from that perception, pretty good roll, into this clearing from the opposite side of where you are, you can see some heavy tracks and smears of blood that seems to have found its way to wherever this thing has stopped and ends there. You'd have to go further in the trees in the opposite direction to follow it.
I'll put my fist up in like a tactical stop.
Okay. Anyone else want to do anything?
Oh, stop.
Yeah, stop.
Yep.
Stop and wait.
Stopping.
Does anyone know what that thing is?
Can I roll a nature check?
Nature or Arcana?
Nature Arcana.
They're equally bad.
We've gone from good to better. Oh. I've gone to the one result that could be worse. From a 2 to a 1, baby.
All right.
4.
That's not great.
Yeah,
15.
you guys carry us. We're not doing well tonight.
The shape in the distance, you could be forgiven for thinking it might be like... Because it's all white fur, like a bear. Like it's some sort of tundra bear.
Polar bear.
Yeah, except it's not... Anyway. But what you do notice with that check, you can't see exactly what you're looking at. But do you see white, long feathers around where the neck and head is?
Oh my god.
Do you? Remain calm, Jen.
What do you see?
It's time to get your druid on, Jen.
I'm so excited.
Sveta, what is it?
She seems to have entered some kind of trance.
Like, she does that thing where, like, the cat pupils, like, expand.
You see her down on her haunches, wiggling her butt.
Oh, I'm gonna pounce on
You
it.
could have, like, phrased that slightly differently.
Nope. Wiggle butt.
Ass wiggling.
Initializing cat pounce. What would you like to do?
Approach it without hesitation.
So, after being told to stop and everyone stays there, Sveta just starts walking towards it. It's probably about 50 feet away.
Is that blood?
Sveta,
No, it's fine. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Sveta, come back.
Shh! Sveta, heal!
Oh my god. I'm Horatio's pet.
I take it back.
Dog!
That was a joke.
Cats don't do that.
Damn it, I read in a book.
You approach. As you get closer and closer, I think that you do recognize the ears, the big, powerful build body, and the large beak
Owlbear.
protruding from the front. You suspect this might be an owlbear, a snowy owlbear,
Oh.
but it's not moving,
Oh no.
and the sound you can hear is still coming from it.
Is the blood coming from it?
You have to get closer.
I'll get closer.
Everyone else following?
Slowly but cautiously, yeah.
So you're a bit back.
Yep.
Yeah.
As you approach, you start coming around and you can see a large pool of blood seeping out from where this body lies. You hear her cry.
I cast Cure Wounds on the creature.
You have to touch it.
I'm gonna touch it.
You walk up to touch it. As you do, you're around the body and you can see very clearly that this owlbear is unfortunately dead.
Oh no!
However, there appears to be a smaller creature butting its head against the belly of its mother.
Oh no.
A tiny owlbear cub
Oh no!
is crying out and alone. What do you do?
Also sad now.
And then it sees you, instantly starting to back up and trying to like almost in its mother's like trying to like get as small as possible in a way.
With my nature check,
Yeah.
are owlbears considered beasts?
No. Owlbears are not beasts. Technically they're monstrosities.
Oh, okay.
According to the game's thing. But they're in a pretty weird spot. As a druid, you'd be very familiar with them in this area, in this like place. They're generally fairly solitary creatures. Mothers protect their young pretty closely. And the blood smears that are leading into this forest might make you think that maybe the mother was in a fight protecting her young. Unfortunately, died from their wounds.
I'll like squat down and approach it like with your hand out as you would like with a dog or something. So it has like a sniff.
It's like shrinking away from you.
No, I won't do that. I'm not going to cast a spell on it. I'll just get closer to it until like I'm basically on top of it. If it's,
It almost looks like it's shivering.
I'll attempt to scoop it up.
Okay. It starts like lashing out at you, clawing as it's terrified. It's, starting to it doesn't have particularly powerful weapons or anything, but starts clawing out at you. What's your armor class?
14.
It hits you.
Oh, okay.
You take 2 points of damage.
Rude.
Is it struggling against you?
It's like, it's okay, I got you. And I'll reach over to the dead bum and like pluck one of her feathers. I'll like brush it against his face.
Okay.
And like just put it on my lapel so it like sniffs it on me.
Okay. I'd like you to roll me an animal handling check.
I'm going to shift so I can get advantage on it.
Okay.
Hopefully it doesn't scare it. 13.
13. Okay. The owlbear cub does stop struggling and starts sniffing the feather that you've put on your clothes. Yeah. It's still crying out though. Still seems to be scared. I
don't want to make the noises because I don't want to. But I'll make like the cooing noises that you would to shush a child. But I'll turn back to everyone and be like, show them what I got. And it's
when I say a cub, like it's like imagine like grabbing a large dog. Like the cub's small compared to the owlbear, but it is it's you have to manhandle it in a way.
I will manhandle it around to show the guys.
It's like a little nugget. It's little ball.
I got it's a baby owlbear.
Carnelian's eyes are like, bear.
You see, people have the same reaction with you. You have to give this one the benefit of the doubt that it's not going to eat us. Look at it, it's cute.
I'm going to assume that Mum's no longer with us?
She's dead.
At the mention of the dead owlbear, Carnelian's going to quickly start scanning the clearing and look for tracks, because if the Mum's dead, then she probably had a fight, so there might be...
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. I mean, there's tracks that lead, obviously, into this clearing, and it was like a smear of blood leading out. So wherever happened, the fight may have taken place further away, and that the owlbear just succumbed to its wounds as it tried to...
Did the owlbear come in the same way we did? Or did
No, opposite direction.
Can Carnelian go and check where it came from?
Yeah, you could go for a take a look. You head out towards where the trail leads, and it leads off into some more heavily wooded areas. You can see the blood and thickets that have been pushed aside as it made its way. Looks like it's been travelling for a bit of time.
Woden's looking pretty concerned. He's going to just kind of try and brush the hair out of the way, the fur out of the way, and see if the wounds look like they're made from claws or a sword or something.
You'd have to do probably a medicine check if you want to find out about wounds and things like that.
Horatio, what do you think of these?
Oh, fine idea. I'll help you inspect those.
Oh, I'd like your opinion, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Come on. 11 total.
There's a large gouge that goes from the neck across maybe the right shoulder and across the belly. It's hard to tell. It could be from a sword or a weapon, but it's also fairly consistent with either another large animal's claws or maybe even some sort of bite chunk taken out. There's also a lot of smaller wounds that cover its feet and paws and lead up its legs, and you can see some more wounds on its rump towards the rear. But the biggest one that probably caused the fatal wound was the neck, as it probably bled out without being able to stop the bleeding.
How long was that cut? That one that's probably the killing blow. How long was that?
With that roll, I'm sorry, you probably would need to have rolled better.
Do you think this could be the doings of our friend the Verbeeg?
Well, it seems to have multiple wound types, lots of small ones around the base, and then a more fatal blow around the neck. Perhaps something smaller was accompanying it, or maybe lots of smaller things were accompanying it and harassing it. It also seems like it was attacked as it ran. It's got some damage on the back. But I'm sorry, I'm not a vet, but yes, I'm not entirely sure.
Cornelian, you follow the track for a little while. You could be doing this for anything up to hours if you want to keep going, which you can
He's
do.
not going to without everyone else first.
Yeah. You could continue up this trail. I mean, it's a very clear trail of blood. I mean, anyone with a half-decent survival tech could probably trace this back, but you have no idea if that's going to be, 4 hours away, 10 minutes away. It's hard to tell. Sveta, is there... The owlbear seems to have calmed down, but it's still sort of like resisting you when you try and move it around. It's still sort of like almost trying to push you away.
While they're inspecting everything, I'll just sit down and like put it between my legs to
Okay.
like get more stability.
Yep.
Don't really want to look at the mother. And I'll just try and calm it down, patting it and
Okay. So you're patting it, trying to reassure it.
yeah.
Sveta, does your god, is he or she interested in animals? Like, do you have to perform your ritual on beasts as well as humans?
You think this is saying I should sacrifice this owl bear?
The dead one, yes. Is that something that your god would want of you?
Maybe. They did point us here. But I can't be sure if it's the mother or the child that it wants me to sacrifice or deal with.
Perhaps your god wanted us to save the child.
Maybe. But it's already given me a gift of my powers. I mean, it's a nice gift if it's this owl bear. Will you help me shove the body against a tree and see what happens?
Sure.
Will you help me shove a body against a tree?
It's not a human.
I'll go for
Should be fine.
the
I'll help.
back legs.
I'll help Sveta as well.
Well, thank you.
I don't feel as concerned if it's an animal. No,
That's
I'm just saying, like,
speciesist.
Horatio doesn't. It's like not even uncomfortable. Like, this is fine. Yeah.
Okay.
It does take you a bit of time. I mean, owlbears, like polar bears, are extremely heavy. And it's going to take you some time to drag it to a tree. But you make it there. And there's anything you want to do special?
Yeah, so when they've helped me shove the body into the tree base, I'm not even, didn't even try to make a divot or anything because it's big enough. I'll just, kneel down beside it and start speaking in Druidic to my god.
I'd like to join Sveta if I could, if she'd let me. I just want to sort of kneel down beside her. I don't know what you're saying, but I just want to sort of try and be a part of it.
Yeah, the words are certainly foreign to you, as in you don't understand what they are, but the feeling is there, right?
Yeah, and it's a short, thank you kind of prayer, and then when I reach the end, you know how, there's, amen and stuff like that, I'll say something in particular, and I'll look at Horatio to let him know that's, the end of it.
Okay. And nod, and, yeah.
And I'll get up and turn back towards the little chick.
Yeah, so the cub, which is sort of left in the middle of the field, is still sitting there. And it kind of looks like it's not sure if it should flee or if it should stay. What do you do?
Sveta, perhaps this might assist, and I'll reach into my cloak and I'll just, I guess if you'll allow me, I might say that I've got some leftover herbs or something, and I might hand that to Sveta, and she can try feeding it to calm it a bit.
Yeah, take it from Horatio and offer it with the feather as well, some calming scents. I'm not sure because I haven't had a pet. It's is this the right thing to do with?
Well, giving Jeffrey treats always worked, so I imagine it would work on an owlbear.
I suppose.
Certainly worth a try.
Yeah. Can I roll an animal handling check?
You may approach and you may roll a handle animal check.
Can I have advantage?
Are you still shifted?
Yes.
How long does shifting last for?
1 whole minute, so probably it's not going. I think it took us over a minute to shove that body.
I'm going to say you've got something to offer it. You got the feather, you've done a few things. Roll with advantage.
Okay.
The power of Jeffrey compels you.
Channel Jeffrey.
Oh, thanks, Jeff. Double 8s. So, 13.
13.
Needs more Jeffrey.
More Jeffs.
The owlbear stops, seems to stop shaking and looks at you. Gets up on its feet on its all fours and trots over to you, starts eating out of your hand.
Oh, it's so cute. But so sad.
Now, Sveta has a little owlbear cub.
Yay.
But that's what's happened this week on Reflex Save.
Oh,
Where will we go from here?
We need to name it. We need to name it too.
Oh no.
Oh, terrible with names.
So am I.
You'll have to give it a week to see what the name comes up.
Great decision.
Steve.
You're not calling it Steve.
But,
Okay.
so we're gonna check this out.
Dear old rat boy.
Dear old rat boy. He's holding all the rats.
rat, moshy mosh.
What?